Meir presents this concept of learning Torah for its own sake. He says there's a lot of rewards that come from this. A lot of good things emerge from this. Some are between us and Hashem, and some between us and other people. Some of them include merits many things. The whole world is worthwhile for their sake. You're called a friend, beloved, a lover of God, a lover of mankind. You bring joy to God, bring joy to mankind. So you see here back and forth between what we're doing for Hashem and also what we're doing for mankind, so the humankind. So 2 questions I want to ask. I'm going to offer you 3 interpretations to what Torah for its own sake is. 3 central ones. I think they're beneficial for us going into Shavuot. Then I want to ask 2 questions on each one. The 2 questions are, number 1, how does each one explain what Lishma means for its own sake? Number 2, how does each one explain how learning for its own sake helps other people? It makes you beloved upon other people. How does it help other people? So here, the first classic interpretation is that learning Torah for its own sake means that you are doing it for the sake of the Torah, to know what the Torah is so you can practice it. So that's learning for its own sake. So if you're going to learn Torah for its own sake, you're going to not learn it for extraneous purposes or external purposes, to know what it says so you can practice it and follow it. That's a little explanation. That's not the common way that Torah is learned in many yeshivas. Okay, so we're going to offer another interpretation in a moment. But in a lot of Sephardic yeshivas, that's a lot more the emphasis, to learn what to do. That can help be good for other people, because if you know how to be a good person, you benefit the world. You benefit other people. So that's the two way to answer that according to that approach. Another approach is to learn Torah Lishma for its own sake, for Hashem's sake. It's a little bit. It says for Torah's sake, but for Hashem's sake. So Hashem commanded us to learn Torah. That's the mitzvah. And so when we do it, we are fulfilling God's command. And through fulfilling God's command, doing God's will, we're fulfilling the purpose of humankind, and that's beneficial, I would suppose, to humankind. They didn't say that, but I'm assuming that would be the explanation. The final explanation is a classic one, which is brought in the Nefesh HaChaim of Chaim of Volozhin. He says 2 components, and they answer the 2 questions. He says, learning Torah Lishma means that you're learning not to do. You're learning to expand the Torah. It's for the sake of the Torah, to expand the Torah. The more you learn, the more you are doing for the sake of the Torah. So if you learn Gemara, if you learn a tractate that has no practical application in Daf Yomi or wherever you learn it, you are expanding the Torah, and you are doing it for the sake of the Torah. How does that benefit humankind? So he brings in a mystical explanation. He says, when you learn Torah, you're benefiting the upper world. You're creating spirituality in the world. And through that, everyone gets the benefit from your creation of spirituality. So those are really 3 components. Learning for the sake of doing, learning because Hashem commanded you, and learning to bring down blessing into the world. This third approach it can be very inspiring. Like, let's say it's Shavuot, it's coming up, and we're learning. We can also learn what to do and to do Hashem's will. But the more we learn, the more blessing we bring into the world, especially on Shavuot. So it's very like you're not just learning. If you're learning by yourself in your house, according to this, you're not just learning for yourself. You're creating blessing, and that blessing really gets spread among all of Am Yisrael and the whole world, and that lifts up the whole world. And that's for all of humankind. So that's something I think to think about. Shavuot, if you're learning for an hour, you can push yourself a little more, another half hour, 10 minutes. The more you learn, the more blessing you bring into your life, to Am Yisrael, and to the whole world.